it's Amanda here with your May 2019 RuneScope. This month, in conjunction with our runes, I will be using the Tarot in Wonderland by Barbara Moore and Eugene Smith. Then, as always, be sure to join me for part 2 of your May reading over on my Vimeo channel. I will be pulling and interpreting one card from the Witchling's Oracle by Paulina Cassidy. You'll find that link below in the box. As always, be sure to check the video for your rising sign as well. Most of the time, you're going to find that that's more accurate in these general readings for thousands of people. So definitely check that out, or you can always book a private session with me. Just email me at runescopes4you@gmail.com. That email address is here in the video and also below. But let's get our runes cast here, Cancer, and see what's going on in May. May 2019 for my Cancers. What are you guys up to? Cancer. May 2019 for Cancer. Let's see what we get here. Oh, it's a stone. That's all right. We'll get that later. Also, Cancer, be sure to, if you are so inclined, to share this channel with your friends on the social media platform of your choice, especially if you're watching a video and you realize it's talking about someone close to you. If you feel like it could help them, please do share that with them. Sometimes it's just the right message at just the right time. That can really pay it forward and help someone deal with whatever they may be going through. So, and it's a great way to support the channel as well, to help me reach more people. I appreciate it, and I'm sure the person that the reading may help will appreciate it as well. But in general, for Cancers in May, what are you doing? For the challenge or the focus, we've got the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So here's what it looks like in the upright in this deck. So the challenge is a lack of cooperation. Somebody's being uncooperative in some situation, or they don't want to collaborate or work together towards some common goal. This could be you, Cancer, feeling this way. Like, I want to go this alone, but maybe getting the approval to do that, getting the leeway to do that, maybe the challenge. Yeah, there could be, it could be a child, honestly. When this card comes up in the reverse, it's kind of the first thing that comes to me. Like somebody not wanting to go along with the status quo, not wanting to obey the rules. It could also be a rule that you find unfair or confining or too restrictive. So either for yourself, maybe it's a school rule or something that's coming up that's maybe... at your child's school, or maybe taking effect maybe next school year, that you're like, that's far too restrictive and far too, inhibiting. It's like confining people or far too, just entrapping people, or because the Eight of Swords is coming up here in the present. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, there's something that makes you feel like you can't move or express yourself, or is making your child feel that way, or your coworkers. For those of you that own your own business, it could be your coworkers who are feeling this way, but you may be like, well, that's just the way it is. Especially if you take orders from, like if you run a franchise, or if you are a regional manager or something, it could just be like, well, that's the new policy, or that's the new rule, and I have to enforce it. The challenge is, no matter which side of this you're on, it's actually going to work out okay and work out for the better. So you're either going to get it overturned, or, it's actually going to, it does have a benefit that maybe people aren't seeing at a certain point. For some reason, I'm seeing clothing. So if, for instance, perhaps there's a school that is like they're trying to implement a dress code, like everybody has to dress alike, and you're going to get that overturned due to, freedom of speech, or, confining someone's ability to express themselves. Now, for others of you, your challenge could be like switching teams. Like I just find it very difficult to work with these people or work on this team or I'm finding these people are not cooperative. So if you're like the team leader, you may be able to get the teams rearranged so that you're working with people who are more, just easier to work with for you, or you get along with better, or you work better together as a team. So there could be like a little switcheroo, or moving these people out, moving these people in. You could be removing yourself and be like, hey, I would really rather be on this team. So, but that's coming up as your challenge. So it may just be like, and nobody wants to be the squeaky wheel, but you may need to be the squeaky wheel, Cancer. Because it does seem like being the squeaky wheel at some point in May, and refusing to kind of go along with something that you feel is infringing or not fair or too restrictive, is going to get a positive result here. You're going to get a win. Because in the present, we do have that 8 of Swords I mentioned a second ago. So this could be coming up here in the present. So into April, into early May, or whenever you're watching this video, it could be what you're dealing with. And this is being implemented as a protection. It's either like to protect, certain people from feeling a certain way, or being bullied, or it's to protect the company from some unforeseen event, or it's to protect someone's reputation. But for some of you, this is happening just so you will say something and get it changed, right? There's divine guidance here with this. You are being protected. You are being led to do something here in May, Cancer, in order to liberate yourself and maybe many people from a restrictive or confining situation. Because there's a way out of this. The thing about the 8 of Swords is it's all in the mind. Actually, her bonds are loose, and she can walk right out of this at any time. It's a self-imposed prison. It's an illusion. It's not real. So you're not really trapped in this situation. All it's going to take really is maybe you speaking up and pointing out the flaws in this situation, or you speaking up and saying, hey, I would really rather work on this team, or I really feel like this, this person will be better on the other team, or I really feel like this rule is infringing on my rights or their rights, or, whatever the case may be. And you're being guided to do this because not only are you going to get the win, but it's going to help other people too, because it does seem like this is policy, or it is something that will affect a large number of people. Now, for some of you, this could be on a much larger scale. Perhaps this is some sort of lawsuit or something you're protesting within your country, within your state, your district, your community, your neighborhood. Perhaps it's like an HOA or something with crazy, just far too strict rules on everybody that's infringing on their free will to do what they want with their property. You may be like, listen, this is not going to fly. We're not doing that. Or nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't say, or can and can't wear, or, So there's something where they want to confine you in a little box, and you're like, you know what, this is not legal, or you can't do this. The help that's going to be available, we've got the King of Pentacles. So this could be an earth sign person, a Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo, but it also could be a boss or authority figure when it comes to money. It could be the person making the policy. It could be the person who signs the checks. It could be like the buck stops with him, right? This person is coming up in the upright, and he wants things to be done fairly May also be a lawyer, if you're talking to a lawyer, since we've got the Justice rune here next to him. Normally that would be a swords person for me, but it actually could be a very wealthy lawyer, or a very well-known lawyer. Like, he's out there, he's like got the commercials, or he's on the park benches, his ads, you see him everywhere, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna call him and see what he says about this. I'm gonna call him and get his legal advice here. So yeah, it could also be like this lack of cooperation could be in a settlement or legal situation, since we've got the rune of legalities and justice coming up here. So yeah, it could have something to do with, an inheritance or a will, or just some sort of lawsuit that you think is going to be the only way to kind of rectify this situation. This person's going to help you get an unfair situation rectified, or give you excellent counsel and advice for how to fairly deal with this situation. For others of you, it's just a boss who's going to see your side of things and understand where you're coming from. It could be him that's making the decision too, especially if it's just like, I want to switch teams, or I want to kind of move people around here at work because I feel like I would work better with these people. So the buck kind of stops with him, and he's going to make the decision. And as long as you can present your reasons why and back those up, that it's not just pettiness, as long as you can give real reasons for it, I do feel like you are, again, going to be able to get the outcome that you want. And again, for whatever reason, it has long-term effects. Even if it's just the final outcome of the project, it's going to be better if you're working with certain people, because you're just going to, get a better result that way. So yeah, don't just squash it, Cancer. I do feel like you're supposed to speak out, and maybe specifically speak to the person, the authority figure, the boss, or a lawyer, or, get some advice. But there does seem to be some sort of legality attached to this, or some sort of precedent, or even a law that, this is attempting to infringe on. What must be accepted? We've got the Six of Cups, which is it's an adorable card in this deck. But it is a very sweet card. There's an innocence about it. This is all about nostalgia and the past, and looking to the past. Remembering our childhood or old school friends, remembering the way it was when we were in school, back in my day, those stories that you may tell your kids, or that your parents used to share with you, or your grandparents, or whatever. So yeah, there's, this is actually very sweet. It is coming up with the rune of home, family, and the past. So there's some kind of history is making, again, precedent, something that's happened before in history, that is the reason that you're using against this rule, regulation, confining, situation that may be going on. But there also may be a return to your childhood home. You may be, this may involve a will or estate, or a sale of your, the property where you used to live, of your childhood home, where you grew up. You may be also, if you are looking to move, you may be looking in an historic district, or at older homes, or in the old neighborhood. Because again, there's a going back with this. Now, but for whatever reason, this may be, it may feel different or look different. When you go back to your childhood home, sometimes it feels much smaller than it was, or much smaller than we remember it. Or perhaps you go back to the neighborhood and it's like, oh, it's so run down now, or, things have really changed. It may not be the way you remember it, but for many of you, it's going to be even better. So I this is just saying you're kind of maybe shocked at, maybe they've, whoever, lives there now, or whoever has kind of taken over the neighborhood, they've really cleaned it up, they've really built it up. Maybe a lot of the homes have been renovated or added on to. But yeah, if you are on the market to buy or sell your property or home in May, you could be finding like an absolutely beautiful historic home that's already been updated or renovated. Like I think that you will be so excited about it. I'm just seeing a lot of beauty and a lot of excitement about this. You could also be buying a home that reminds you of the same maybe style of the old neighborhood or your old childhood home. You could also be just celebrating, meeting with family. Maybe somebody has a birthday or an anniversary, or there's something in May that you're celebrating, and the family's coming together to maybe celebrate. And it's good to see maybe people you haven't seen in a while, or people from the past reconnecting with some, especially older relatives that maybe you haven't seen in a while. And it always kind of makes you feel like a kid again when maybe you're around the aunts and the uncles or your grandparents or whatever, no matter what age you are, right? Because they still kind of treat you like you're the little kid no matter how old you are. So, and it may be kind of nice. It may be kind of like, oh, it's nice to not be the adult for a second, or not feel like the adult anyway, and just still be kind of taken care of or coddled, or, with grandma, making sure you've got a full plate or whatever. It's nice. So really sweet energy here, here, Cancer. The outcome is the Magician. So this is an excellent card. This is all about taking control, taking your power back in order to win a disagreement. So I think we're going back to this challenge, this Eight of Swords here. You're going to be armed with everything you need by the end of the month. You may need to, again, have someone hear you out, hear your case. You may need to seek advice from someone, kind of, and it may be legal advice for some of you. But yeah, then by the end of the month, armed with the knowledge, you're going to have everything that you need in order to win this, or to take the control back. In the dispute, in the situation, in the disagreement, make the changes that need to be made. The Magician is a very independent card. So there's some area of your life here, Cancer, where you need to assert your independence, where you need to take control of a situation, rather than just maybe sitting back and letting it play out or letting other people steer the ship. There's something that you are supposed to take control of. And I don't think it's going to be a problem, because it really does feel like you are passionate about whatever this is involving. So you may be passionately angry. Oh, you're not going to tell me what color to paint my house, or, maybe it's a new neighborhood you're moving into, and it is kind of like you're finding out the rules. And it's like, oh, I really love this house, but, I'm not going to leave it that color, or I want to be able to do whatever I want to do, and not have some association tell me what to do. So it may have something to do with that you're trying to kind of push back on, or, you're asking questions about, getting advice about, and it does seem like whatever it is, even if you have to kind of alienate maybe some people on the board, and that, that could be kind of like, oh, here we are moving into this new neighborhood, and right away we're pissing off the people on the homeowners association board, or whatever. But I mean, wrong is wrong, right? Yeah, these little authoritarian mini governments, because many of them can kind of be very much that way. You're just like, you know what? I'm over it. I'm not. So you may be kind of like, yeah, we'll buy this house, but we're not doing that. We're painting it this color. So, we're not going to assign your association thing, or, and it does seem like you have, again, some sort of precedent or some sort of law that trumps this, that you're able to point to, and say, like, look, we're going to do this and you can't stop us. So that is what I see here, Cancer. You're taking back the control. What I'm also feeling, since I'm getting so much with this history, is that there may be certain requirements, because it's an historic home or even a historic district that some of you may be moving into or looking at. And they may have yeah, just really kind of absurd regulations for what you can and can't do to the property. I understand some of them, but I mean, again, if you're not going to open it as a museum or whatever, you have to live there. So you should have the freedom to kind of, and it does seem like they're not up on their laws, or they're not up on what they can and can't do. And this lawyer is, or this person is going to be able to kind of help you, give you the information you need. And they're not going to be happy about it, but you're going to get your way here, Cancer. You're going to get a win, and you're going to show them who is boss. So meet me over on Vimeo now. Like I said, I'm going to shuffle the Witchlings Oracle. We'll do part 2 of your May reading. I want to see if we can get more information, more guidance on how best to handle this energy, and how best maybe you can get the courage up to do this. We'll see what guidance they have for you. That link again is below. I'll see you over there, and I'll see you back here next time. Thanks for watching.